want to give you some few updates that I think are really fun that has recently happened. I haven't been posting a lot. We've been super busy. So the most recent thing was that we were recently over at Tinley at the NARBC. So for those that don't know, that is one of the largest expos in the area, which is awesome. We managed to get a last minute table. We were in the hallway, which we're more happy about the fact that we actually got a spot in there. It was amazing to be part of the show. It was amazing to be able to just experience from the vendor side instead of walking the floor. Got to meet a ton of amazing people, which was wonderful. All the jumpers that we did bring did get home. Yeah, so we did Tinley. And then another more recent thing too is, so we are based out of the Midwest, and a local Oddities shop that is in DeKalb, Illinois. So that's Mr. Willie's Dark Arts and Oddities shop. He asked us to have our stuff there for jumping spiders. So I'm going to pop in a video that I took while I was walking around during the grand opening. But there's a lot of cool things there, different jewelry. These are all from different vendors that have supplied stuff. It's cool. Like, it was just kind of seeing all the different like niches of oddities and unique art that you don't typically see. And then of course you have our jumping spider stuff there, which is an oddity, I guess, in itself. We're also working it out that if someone buys a spider through the shop, then they're able to contact me, and then we'll set up time to get a spider. So if you're local in the area, within like the DeKalb area, definitely check it out, and then maybe you'll get a spider through me. Alright, so purpose of this video too is, got all the updates, but with Mr. Willie's Oddity Shop, the grand opening, I sold out my enclosures. I need to restock. So we're gonna go ahead and create some enclosures. So we're gonna take this AMAC boxes, and we're gonna take this, drill some holes in it, so for cross ventilation, and turn it into enclosures. So the size that you see here that I'm using, this is the largest size that I really do for DIYs for jumping spiders. So this size from AMAC is a 4x4 and then 7 1/4 tall. They have other sizes on the website, so you are able to go there and purchase your own if you're wanting to. Do note the fact that they do require that you buy in the packs, so it's not just one that you'd be getting a certain amount depending on the size. So the website for that is www.amac, so AMAC 1960.com. So this one you'd find in the M series. They have a few other types in there, but you can always find like something that maybe works better for what you feel for your enclosure. This is just what I really like. Some of the features that I really like of the vac is that it's middle opening, so I use this for the top part, and the fact that I can open this up. I have easy access to my spider at the top here because I'll have the hide up at the top. I think it's easier access to the spider. It's also easier to get them out when I'm wanting to handle them. I'm not having to, like, if it's a bottom open, I'm not having to dig up to the top to try to get them, or hoping that they come down. Front opening, it's a lot easier for the fact that, like, with front opening you have to do the same. You have to try to convince them to come out, whereas this, you're right where you need to, and you're also not disturbing their hammock, which is also really good. So I take the blanks of these and I drill holes, and that is adding cross ventilation on the bottom, middle, top. Alright, let's go ahead and drill holes in the enclosure. So we're going to be drilling holes on the top, the middle, and the bottom, and this is to ensure that we're getting proper cross ventilation for our spiders. So I made this 3D printed template right here. So this has the spacing for the top, the middle, and for the bottom, and this is sized perfectly for the 4x4 by 7 1/4 enclosure by AMAC. So you can see it fits real nice and snugly on the sides and on the bottom. Got the top, middle, bottom. So this guide is for marking the holes. We are not drilling through the template. So next step will be that we are adding the blue painter's tape. So we're going to add this on the top, the middle, and on the bottom. Also want to make sure that we are taping on the top as well. Alright, so now that we got that taped on the front side, now we also have to do that on the inside, just doing the same spots. This will help with making some clean holes. Alright, so this is where we get to use the template that I made. So we're going to place this over the tape, just like so. Then we're going to use a mechanical pencil. I push it out just enough so that way it can go through the holes and make contact with the blue parents tape. But essentially I'm going to mark up through each hole using the mechanical pencil to draw the little circles. And this will be eventually where they will be drilled. Now, I will say I am really happy with this template. Before this, I would mark up with a ruler and mark out all the lines of where I was going to be drilling, and it just got very tedious to be doing constantly. So as you can see, just in the light a little bit, you can see the little circles. This will be where you will be drilling. So let's do the other side. And this will be something that I will be making this template in other sizes, which will be great for some of the shorter sizes that AMAC does provide. But right now this is the one that I do have, and it is available on my Etsy right now if this is something that you're wanting. Alright, so now we got those all marked up, which is great. So now it's time to start drilling the holes. So I'm using a Dremel, and this has a chuck and a drill bit on there. And my Dremel does have an adjustable speed on there, so I always have it set to 15. And I will say, I've had many people question why they are not getting the same results that I do. Please, I am saying Dremels make a huge difference. The constant speed that you can have with the Dremel, I think, helps a lot. You can then just control the pressure that you're putting down on there. And for some reason with that, it just makes for cleaner holes. So I would say if you're following this step for step, please make sure you are using a Dremel, or even if it's a different brand, but it has to be something that's a hobby type drill, not just your standard drill. And you will get some plastic that stays on the bit. This is able to be pulled off. If it doesn't, I've used like nail clippers or scissors just kind of scrape it off. But it should come off pretty easily. So again, going through on the other side, drilling the holes. Be prepared, you're going to have a ton of plastic everywhere. Once the sides are done, we're going to do the top. Nice thing with AMAC is that they have this like indented circle. So I'm going to follow that circle to drill the holes. I don't pre-mark them up. So I just kind of do them as evenly as I can. But it's nice having that indented circle, because then I don't have to really worry about trying to trace out a circle to make a really nice pattern. Now I get to remove the tape and see how we did. So usually I'll take the painter's tape that I peeled off and I'll use that to kind of clean up my mess. But you can see how much plastic shards are just everywhere, so be prepared. But now you have a beautifully pre-drilled enclosure and it is ready to decorate, so let's do that next. First thing that I always add to all my enclosures is the reptile safe sheet moss that I get. So I only use moss that is from pet stores. That means that it is safe for pets. I avoid anything that is from a hobby store just because it has dyes that could leach out and harm your spiders. So make sure that if you're getting moss, get it from a pet store. It is supposed to be reptile safe. And I've used all this in my enclosures for years at this point. So a cool thing with the sheet moss too is that I am able to piece together parts, so I really save all my scraps. So I took a few pieces. I know something that I want to use. I'm going to just cut it to fit the way I want to. Going to give this kind of like a little curve to it, fit the shape of this fun door that I'm putting in. Seeing how it matches up. And I do need to trim it just a little bit so that way it's not completely overlapping. Alright, so before I glue this down, this is what I want it to look like. I am going to add some web ribbon to the back side. I really like adding this in there. Gives it still some of that open feeling, but it adds a little bit more to the background for the spider to climb on, which is nice. So for adhering to the enclosure, I'm just kind of putting little bits of the hot glue on some of the pieces of the web ribbon. No real rhyme or reason to it, just kind of placing where I find I'm able to, and then carefully place it on the side of the enclosure and press on there. And now I can add on the moss. So peeling off that paper on the background. I cannot believe how much steam is coming off this hot glue gun right now. So, alright, I'm going to put this on the enclosure. Having to be careful to not get hot glue on myself. That is a common occurrence. And we'll go ahead and place the other piece on there. And again, with the sheet moss, it's really nice because I am able to piece these together and it does blend in pretty well. And I'm going to hot glue this little door on there, just adding a ton of hot glue on there. This door I got from like Temu a while back, so it was one that I found in my craft room and realized I could use this for a cool decor. And we're also going to add in some spooky black branches. And I'm just going to place them on the sides here with some hot glue. So I just cut off some little pieces, get some hot glue on there, and just tack them onto the sides. And I'm going to do another piece and just kind of layer it up so it gives a little bit more dimension. And then we're going to add in some of these like black leaves. If you can't tell, I'm kind of going more with a spooky theme, especially since it's Halloween. I'm definitely feeling those vibes. And I'm adding them into the corners just to kind of fill up some space. And since this one's bending a bit more, I'm going to use the hot glue to just put a little bit on one of the leaves and press it to the side just to straighten it out. It's a nice thing with using the precision hot glue gun is I'm able to get in there a little bit better for some small little dollops of hot glue. And during this recording, I could not believe it, but I had a little jumper visit me. This is a wild spider. I believe it is a zebra jumping spider. Based on the size, based on the fact that it has some of the stripes, and they are common in our area. He was fast, or he or she was fast. Grabbed one of my little ghost hides, see if I can get him to crawl around. So fast, just wanted to explore, but oh, it was so fun. I will say, once you're in the jumping spider community and in the hobby, it's funny how you notice these small little guys so much more. Though this one, literally he was climbing on the cord of my camera equipment, which just blew my mind. Like, I just saw him climbing up there, and I'm going to leave in this next audio clip because this is where my husband came in and basically found me playing with the wild jumper. So this is funny. While I'm recording, a little baby zebra jumper just interrupted my recording.
Randomly wandering through?
Yeah, he's just a little one.
She's playing with her house jumpers.
Uh-huh. While recording. Okay, back to decorating. So I'm going to add in this 3D printed bench that I made. I don't have this one up on Etsy. I don't know if it's something that people will buy. I did make it so that way it just was one way for me to stop having to constantly get stuff off of Temu or Amazon. So I'm going to hot glue the bottom and just stick it right in the middle, kind of do a little bit of an angle. Then my husband came in and gave me a piece of cardboard because I should be putting my hot glue gun on there instead of having the hot glue just drip onto the table. And using the precision tip of the hot glue gun, I'm able to get in there and add just a little bit of hot glue on the bench. We're going to add some moss on there, give it some earthy kind of weathered look to it. And then we're going to add some 3D printed skulls that I made. So I did sculpt these myself. And for those that are new to my channel, we do all of our modeling for 3D printed items. This is a model that I did create myself, and it is one that we also have available as a hide. But I like to think this is something that sets us apart from a lot of the other 3D printed jumping spire enclosures, is that we do all the design work. My husband, myself, and we both use a variety of different 3D modeling programs. Alright, so I'm just finishing up doing some of the little black floral pieces and adding them just to different spots to add a little bit more to the space. And of course, I can never do an enclosure without adding mushrooms. Even if it's not a cottagecore type theme, I am going to add red mushrooms. And you get to see me struggle trying to get this one single mushroom to sit upright. It's quite embarrassing, but it is what it is. So I didn't like how bare that one corner is on the front right area. No particular reason, just want to add a little bit more. So we're going to add a little bit more of the little black spooky branches. Alright, so I think that bottom area looks pretty good. So I am done with that piece. Now we're going to be adding stuff to the top. So I'm going to add some web ribbon up to the top. I'm going to add it on the same corner as the area that is on that bottom piece. So it kind of looks like it's just climbing up towards the top. Just adding some hot glue sparingly throughout the web ribbon. So placing it up at the top, I do notice that I am overlapping where the seam is that this enclosure is going to close. So I'm just going to trim a little bit of the web ribbon. This is just to make sure that when I put the lid on that it does connect with the bottom piece. I'm going to add some more of the black leaves to the top. I do try to add more things up towards the top, not just to hide. That way the spiders have more areas to climb on. Things to remember is that they are arboreal, so having items up at the top is really good for their enrichment. And I'm going to add the second one on there just to give it a little bit more depth, fill it out a little bit more. And the hide I'm going to use for this one is my ghost hide. I think this works for spooky season, for Halloween. As you can tell, we have the magnets embedded into the print. This is done on purpose so that you don't lose the magnets. They also aren't exposed where they could risk getting rusted. And then I'm going to add the Ouija planchette for a ledge. This can also be used as a hide since it does have the circle in there. I have seen it done that way. Again, embedded magnets. You can see the clear on there, but that is clear PLA that's actually covering that. So that is still sealed. Strong magnets to secure it onto the sides. And with that, we are done. I like the spooky little enclosure. So this one is currently available over at Willie's Oddities shops in DeKalb. Now make sure that if you are wanting to support our shop and you see items on here that you like, feel free to jump over to my Etsy, where we will have all of our 3D printed decor and enclosures and other pieces as well. And I always appreciate all the support you guys give us. It really means a lot. I hope this guide did help you guys today. It was really fun going through step by step. And be sure to follow me over on all my social media pages, so on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. And until next time, keep it spooky.